Okay, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Shooting Game Weekly, episode 129. And this week we're checking out Monolith. It's on the PC and Steam. Just came out a couple months ago. Really fresh title here, and we're also joined by the developers of the game, a few of them.
All of them.
All of them. Perfect. We got Alex Middle, Arc of Dream, and Pure Question. We'll introduce. Yeah, I'll introduce you one by one. So yeah, hey Alex.
Yeah, hi.
And hey Arc of Dream.
Hello there.
And Pure Question.
That is me.
And on this episode as well, gonna have guest lead host Extruder as well hanging out here, and also we're joined by just a player of the game in the last couple months, eebrozgi as well.
And valued playtester.
Oh yeah.
Hello, I'm XC.
So yeah, we got everyone here, and we're gonna do our best to talk about this game and learn a bit about it, and also about the developers as well. So why don't we learn a little bit about you guys? Pure Question, would you want to tell us just a little bit about the game in brief, and then maybe just about yourself, and maybe the other guys can chime in about themselves after.
Alright, so Monolith is a sort of shmup roguelike hybrid. We started development on it in 2011, 2012. It was really just a bit of an experiment, kind of mess around with like random map generation, and we've done a lot of work with shmups in general, so it's sort of ended up where we kind of went with it. Had a lot of fun working on it. Spent 5 years just adding stuff and making stuff and coding stuff, and finally got the game out in June 7th, 2017. And made a bit of a company out of it, trying to turn it into a brand.
Okay. Yeah. What about the other two guys? What are your roles?
Hey, I'm Alex. I've done like the graphics on the game, programmed a little bit of it.
A little bit.
Just a little bit of the work, and all around just wrote a little bit of the game, did like the style and stuff. And yeah, it's been a really great experience working with these two guys. And yeah, that's about all.
Yep, so as far as the roles go, so I am the quote-unquote head programmer. Alex is also a programmer. In reality, we probably split the work pretty evenly. And Arc of Dream over there is our in-house musician. And he did some very good work on the soundtrack. I've listened to quite a few hours of the soundtrack for Monolith at this point. Even just for fun.
Yeah, it's got that quality.
And, we got some good artists. Our head programmer is kind of garbage, but the artist and the musician are really good.
Oh yeah, like the art on the left of the stream, it's done by a guy. His name is Psych.
Yes,
He's
Psych.
done,
And then
yeah.
some numbers. I should probably find those numbers.
Yeah.
Psych 323.
But yeah, he's done really great work on like the splash.
Yes,
So a big shout out to
very
him.
happy with that work. Huge fan of that art. Looking forward to working with him in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool stuff. So yeah, 5-year development, and now the game has been out for 2 months. So what's it like having the game have been out for a couple months now?
It has been really exciting seeing people react. We've actually got a pretty thriving fan community, which I was not expecting at all. And a lot of people really love the game, which I'm always super happy to see.
Yeah, it's like the game doesn't really have that large of a following, but the people who played it like seem to really love it, and that's like a great feeling. Every time you like see people playing the game, like really enjoying it, it's like, oh yeah, that was a really worthwhile time spent.
Yep. And we definitely hope to keep those people around.
Cool. Is it a thing like you have like a group of people that were following along in the development process as well, or were these are these fresh faces?
So we had a few people we were showing around to. Like, we definitely had a handful of playtesters and various friends. We were, throughout development, actually posting on the amateur game dev board like thread, ongoing thread on actually 4chan, and we posted a lot of updates as we went through that. We had a minor Twitter following as well, which has only grown since the game came out.
I see. Cool.
But it's definitely a lot bigger now that the game's out, because I'd say probably the biggest publicity spike we've had was just the actual Steam release. And also the marketing leading up to the release.
That's cool.
Cool. Well, yeah, glad to have you guys here to talk about this game and everything. So, Extruder, before you want to talk about some of the more questions, would you guys want to kind of explain the game flow a little bit more, or where do you guys want to go from this?
All right, so the game is pretty. You could cut the game down pretty straightforward. Monolith is a multi-floored dungeon exploration game with sort of an arena shooter style shmup gameplay. Every floor has.
Is it a twin stick then?
It is. It is a twin stick shooter.
But it's also played with keyboard and mouse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Oh, okay.
I've only ever played it with keyboard and mouse. I've actually never.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I actually also have only really played it with keyboard and mouse. Some crazy people tell me that they can't really play it with keyboard, with like controller, or with keyboard.
Yeah, we definitely have tried very hard to support controller, but the canonical way to play it for me is always keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
It seems like
WASD movement, keyboard, and mouse, aim and fire.
It seems like that's been kind of a thing in the twin stick, like quote unquote twin stick shooters now. It's like you can play it both of those ways, but it sounds like you guys aren't really sure if you should call it twin stick or
or like
a mouse or a mouse a game.
I mean, it definitely has those attributes, because when you say twin stick, it communicates like you have the freeform aiming and the freeform movement completely independent of each other. So,
because as I recall, like last time we had talked about Assault Android Cactus, I know that game was also playable both ways.
But I mean,
as I recall,
you can play it as a twin stick shooter, and it has the important feature, which is like the way you aim and the directions you can aim.
Okay, cool. Oh well, carry on then about the game.
So every floor has some number of mini bosses and a climactic boss fight. We see here one of the major boss fights, the Overlord, playing in the background, which is one of the final bosses of the game. And definitely where the game starts getting into like the really, really bullet hell heavy stuff.
Yeah,
so
it kind of like starts with environments that aren't really all that bullet helling. You definitely have to dodge a lot, but it only really gets into the heavy stuff in the later stages.
And especially more than boss fights.
Yeah, and then later in the hard mode.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
All right, so about Fraxi. Yeah, I see the mention of Fraxi. And yeah, guys, I want to ask you, the first question is about your backstory and what the word Fraxi means for you and the
A lot. A lot. Yeah, like Fraxi is like this freeware shmup game where you build your own bosses and your own stuff. And we have actually been members of one of its communities for like, I don't know, like almost a decade.
Yeah, 8 years for me.
Yeah, a very long time. And
I would say,
I think it's 7 for me.
Yeah, and I would say when the community was large, I would say you were probably more important than me. But I'd say we were two of the bigger names.
Nobody really cares.
we made a lot of stuff in front.
Yeah, it was a really glorious time, to be honest. It was a lot of fun.
And God, that would have been the 2009 to 2011 era.
Yeah, it's kind of faded now, but there are still people who still make some stuff, but largely it's kind of abandoned. It's very hard to like access the design documents.
Yes.
If you don't have like a Wayback Machine access.
If you actually look back at the timeline, you'll see that Monolith started not long after the Fraxi community really slowed down.
Kind of.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Fraxi is a game similar to yours?
Oh, yeah.
It has the similar control scheme. We were probably pretty informed by it in making it.
Yeah, it's like Fraxi has like this kind of control scheme which I would really describe as really, really well controllable. So, oh yeah, it's not just similar. We pretty much took it wholesale.
Well, we didn't. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yep. But yeah, the way Fraxi was more of a like build your own boss thing, and it was a bit weird. You kind of had like parts. It's weird. But yeah, so it had a very like thriving community where people would like make bosses and post
Yeah,
them.
like
Oh wow.
Like, if you are really familiar with Frax, you will probably like see the similarities pretty much instantly.
Yeah,
not just in the movement, but like in design of a lot of things, especially like in the hard mode. It kind of feels to me it feels very reminiscent of how people did hard mode in Fraxi with like some bosses.
Yeah, and you'll like see like a lot of like running themes because we carried a lot of their design sensibilities from Fraxi to Monolith. So you'll especially see a lot of overlap in the way the bosses are built.
Dang, sounds like we're gonna have to do a Fraxi episode at this point.
Oh, please,
sounds like you really
please.
enjoy it.
please do.
I never heard of
so
it.
great.
We would love to be in on that.
Interesting. Okay, so
there's
Fraxi is something
there's
to
a
keep
lot
in
to
mind.
see there. You'll see, Ebo, one of the devs for Final Boss, was probably the biggest name in Fraxi. To give you an idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
is that so?
Oh
He's
yeah,
like
the guy making Final Boss.
Yeah, it
The
was
episode number 80 of
Yeah.
STG
I
Weekly.
just want to make a disclaimer. That's not me. Somehow people got confused. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's almost like you guys have really similar names.
Yeah, it's almost like
Weird.
that.
But yeah, if you ever make a Fraxi, it will be like a really great episode. There's like so much to see, like the difference between early Fraxi bosses and the later Fraxi bosses.
Oh my gosh,
Standard.
there's some
Such
crazy
depth.
bosses. And especially since they were standalone, you tended to get into the like, here's a boss fight that's 10 minutes long
Oh yeah. This game
with
is
like
also
5
great.
forms
That's
and
nice.
30 attacks.
Okay, interesting.
All right, let's cue the first run up. So I would explain about the dungeon features and then ask some more questions about it. So yeah,
All right,
This
there's lots to
first
cover
run
there
was-
too.
Yeah, this first run was made by me specifically for STG Weekly, so it's a kind of an exclusive. It showcases normal mode play with all S ranks, and I'll explain what the ranks mean later. It's not the traditional shmup rank, but still, it's quite a fun challenge to try to get them all of them. So, countdown ready?
Yeah, I can actually check what percentage of people have that achievement because it's not very high at all.
On Steam, yeah. The Exalted achievement.
Yeah,
It's like what, like 2%?
yeah, something like that. Let me double check. It's not very high. It is 1.7% of all players, which by my estimate would be probably like 50-ish people in the entire world have ever gotten all S ranks. And that probably includes like me testing to see if the achievement worked.
All right, 48 left. So, yeah, countdown.
All right. This is the first video, right? It's 26 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yes.
Yes,
Making
it's mine,
sure.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'll do a countdown. It'll be on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so yeah, welcome to Monolith. And first minute, it's not a run yet, but I'm showcasing just the various rooms types that they are in. And yeah, there are basic rooms, which are filled with enemies, and you have to destroy those enemies in order to, well, progress later, so the doors would open. The weapon canister rooms that give you a specific weapon, you get to choose from 2. The boss room that we see right there, but we need to kill all of the mid bosses on the floor to get to it. And the big shop,
Yes.
and you can see just the variety of items there, and the shrine that's about to be now. And it's kind of like, yeah, people just call it demon shop, and it's kind of, you kind of exchange one of your advantages for your another advantage. And I reset here, and from there the actual run starts. And so, yeah, all S ranks means I have to explore every single room, including all of the secret ones, and we'll talk about the secrets later on. And to take less than 13 hits, although the game is kind of like a compile shmup in that sense, it gives you a reasonable amount of lives and bombs, yet the players can challenge themselves further. And let's say I don't need all that HP in order to clear the game, so it's quite friendly. So yeah, the floor one, it's kind of that cave story-ish vibe. Yeah, just let's talk about that and ask Arc of Dream about his inspirations in the composing for this game. So how did you make the OST, get the ideas, and what tools did you use?
So the progress of making music in case of Monolith was to talk it out first. How should it sound like? And usually I direct that to Alex. And after that, I try some demos using PX Tone. And that's the same tool that Pixel used for making his music.
Yeah, that's a really nice tool.
Yeah, so it actually is the same sound fonts as Cave Story.
Yeah, nice trivia. And yeah, the first boss does nothing. I just burned him. Just
yeah,
kidding.
He's pretty vulnerable to splash damage.
It's likely the easiest boss in the game if you have the fitting weapon.
All right, so yeah, in this run, I am lucky to have a decent weapon. So yeah, I'm going to use only it for the entirety of the run, and we'll talk about switching weapons and weapon system later. Just for now, you should know that
shotgun fireball a good weapon? I didn't know.
Yeah, kind of is. Fireball in general.
It's cool, and yeah, spoilers, I don't really change from it. So I'm just exploding shit up, and we're gonna talk about the dungeon features now. So yeah, the rooms in this game are generated procedurally as from each roguelite. The game picks from the set, and could Alex please explain just how the room generator works and map generator?
The map generator is actually pretty primitive as far as such things go. It's actually just a row of 13 tiles arranged in 13 columns. Yes. And we have our own editor where Pure makes each level individually. And then after that, he works his black magic to make the floor itself generate all these rooms. And then when you enter a room, it checks the entrances and then generates a level appropriately.
Yeah,
it's made in the way that's supposed to never send you into a dead end, or you enter a room and it closes behind you. That should never happen.
Yeah, there's some complicated stuff going on with the map generator. It's probably pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of different layers going on. It actually just starts out by placing a room and sort of builds outwards from there, just picking random directions and placing rooms, and it branches that until it reaches a certain threshold where every floor has a certain number of rooms it's aiming for. And then after it's done building the rooms, it actually looks for gaps and fills them in to try and create loops in the map so that you can circle around. So if there's ever a fork, if there's ever two rooms in parallel with a space between them, it actually tries to fill them in with another room so that it creates a circle of rooms instead of two parallel dead ends.
Yeah, Pure made that to specifically avoid the instances where each map is just a few branches that have those long tunnels.
Yeah, because I really like the feeling when you're exploring a map and you loop around and you run into a room you were at earlier. So I wanted to try and deliberately create that as often as possible instead of just it's another dead end. I guess I'll backtrack.
All right, yeah, and we are at the archives, the floor with probably just the most beautiful background art in the game. It looks like a Sanguine drawing. It's
Wait, really?
Yeah. Well,
my favorite background's floor 6.
Yeah, I kind of think the backgrounds of the first floor and maybe the fourth floor have the most coherent art.
Interesting, but yeah, style-wise, I prefer the archives and the music. Just Shelf Space. It was the first one I've heard, and for me, it's what comes to mind when I remember the game. It's so atmospheric.
I actually, I myself prefer the third floor music. I think it's got the best, I don't know, it's the most fitting one. It's really.
I remember, especially when we started on it, I was really, really happy with the feel of floor 3 between the music.
Oh yeah, it's also probably the most thematically appropriate one.
Especially the first 2 floors are pretty. Here's a room. It's kind of got a bit of a theme, but once you hit the third one, it's really has a feel.
Yeah, like the first two floors, they're pretty neutral, but the third one, it's got like icicles, it's got water, it's got like also ice enemies, so it's like really themed around like the cold and the water. It's like the first floor in the game that really has a consistent theme.
Yeah,
but like the background
really
art. The background arts themselves, they are kind of weird in that they aren't really supposed to evoke a feeling of like a top-down space or like just standing space, because it's supposed to imply that the topography of the game is like weird. And it's kind of it's a critique that we've actually had a lot of times. People can't really tell if it's supposed to look that way.
Just the game itself is a bit confused. Just like, see the fishies that jump out of the water. It's kind of like it's a top-down game and a gravity-based game at the same time.
Yeah, it's not really something that I ever really stress a lot of focus on, because mechanically it's not really also confusing. It's really easy to grasp.
Yeah,
but
we leaned pretty heavily into the ambiguity of the perspective.
Yeah.
Like that you just kind of rolled with it after all, though, and combined.
Oh yeah, it's like like the very first few backgrounds weren't really supposed to imply if it's like a wall or a floor. It's like just like brick patterns, and then it's got like more concrete to like emphasize where you are currently, but it's still supposed to feel like you're like in this weird space, walking like this different directions, and you don't really know where up or down is.
Yeah, the reality of how you're moving around doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
In terms of the implied 3D space.
Yeah, interesting
I feel
geometry.
like the feel is somewhat relevant, but the floor-free maintenance system music is inspired by Shikima-sama's Futari second stage music. Just so I was looking for something to reflect the icy feel.
Oh, nice.
Man.
Yeah, icicles are certainly something. Yeah, that falls down. Like you know, it's like I want to be the guy. Apples do not fall up, but actually they are giant cherries.
Oh yeah, those aren't actually icicles in that case. They're like, I don't know, giant spears of frozen liquid.
I mean, you see the wizards make them sometimes. Maybe they're just all magic.
Oh yeah.
This was one of my favorite. This was one of the bosses I was happy with the movement.
This actually especially. This seems to be like one of the best bosses in the game, actually, because a lot of people look at it and say that, oh well, that's like Contra Hard Corps or Gunsta Heroes. Like, it's not super intentional. Like, yes, pure design maybe it is, but it certainly evokes like that.
Crimson Clover, actually.
Yeah. And I was super happy with that death animation too, with the plates flying up.
The Crimson Clover comparison to Hecaton Chair is actually really valid too. It's actually one of the things that inspired me too.
Definitely the sort of things that would have been inspired by.
And the whole boss itself is also actually one of the biggest in-jokes in the game too.
Yeah, that is a boss we've made in Fraxi like twice, and in a bunch of other games we started and never finished.
Actually, like 3 times, maybe 4.
But
yeah, it's like a long-running gag that nobody else but us really gets.
I mean, there was Grey Armor, and then there was the one you made in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
As part of that challenge.
Yeah.
I guess the boss rush version was the first one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So those big mech things give you a permanent ship upgrade? Is that what that was?
Yes, those are the upgrade rooms. There's a pool of, I think, 13 or 14 upgrades. It picks 3 randomly from ones you haven't obtained that run.
Let me see in the guide, like how exactly there are like.
I hope it's not 14. 13 would be so appropriate.
Well, I think it was. Well, the 13th one is 15. The special one.
Yeah.
But I think there's
no excuses then.
But you put the special one at 13, so it's okay.
Okay.
D13.
And I think we'll probably add more anyways.
Oh, was this inspired from Gardic? Have you heard of that game?
From what?
From Gardic.
No, because I don't think either of us know that game.
Oh yeah, by the way, the Guardian Legend. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Oh yeah. A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people that game either.
Yeah, a lot of people say that it's a lot of like Guardian Legend, that I am familiar with the game, but no, it's not an inspiration for it. There's like a huge list of titles that inspired like the game in some ways, but that's not one of them.
Yeah, so just making a game with some random ass gimmicks, and then just people. It's like, what kind of anime you're gonna watch, and so yeah. So just people be like, oh wow, this is from like that game. So yeah, I just really love this sheer amount of influences just there are in just from various classic shmups and well in other stuff.
Like similarly, Alex, you made the upgrade system, right?
Yeah.
And like, how familiar are you with Nuclear Throne?
I have never played it.
And it's basically the same.
Yeah, not really. It's actually more like Downwell's upgrade system, which I have actually played and really like.
Actually, Nuclear Throne and Downwell do have very similar upgrade system. Where you get where there's a big pool and you get 3 in 1. I think Nuclear Throne gives you 4, but same thing. I think Downwell might also give you 4, doesn't it?
No, only if you pick like one of the upgrades, I think, which lets you have 1 extra upgrade every flow.
Why didn't we do that? I think Nuclear Throne and Downwell both do that.
I don't know, it just feels less rewarding if you just pick an upgrade that does nothing.
All right. I mean, you could package up HP up or something. Downwell does that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean like Second Wind? Yeah, it's actually like directly inspired from the Apple.
Interesting.
Oh, is it? That's interesting. Well, that's weird. Totally. That's also literally an upgrade that's in Nuclear Throne.
God damn it, that keeps happening.
I think the one in Nuclear Throne also refills ammo.
You see, the developers of this game are very humble. Just like us.
Oh yeah, totally.
And we're very creative. We definitely aren't pretending we didn't know about all these things we ripped off.
No, I totally didn't.
But
we actually did rip off
like
so many
artist.
things.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so just...
But yeah, I have actually like written down all the influences on the game. There's like this huge list of like, I don't know, like a dozen games. And it's like everything from the shmups that we liked, like a few games that we also really liked. And like every time people say that the game is look like Binding of Isaac, I just get this inner voice that says, why not Hero Core? It's a lot like Hero Core too.
Daniel Remar, also one of my favorite indie developers, alongside you now. But yeah,
it's weird that people keep comparing it to Hero Core. It used to look a lot more like Hero Core, but we changed the design.
There's like this very old video.
This game's made before Gungeon was ever in works. It's been for 5 months. 5 years.
Yeah, I had like an existential crisis when Gungeon came out because they preempted a lot of ideas that we had.
Yeah, like we had added the teleport between rooms. And then Gungeon came out, and then we saw that it had that.
And it also had ammo, and it also had a floor 4 boss, which is like a cloaked mage. Like, damn it.
I don't think we'd even gotten that far when Gungeon came out.
But no, but it was already in the plan.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, totally.
And then it has a floor 5 boss that's fixed, and then a hidden floor 6 with a harder boss.
Yeah, but I don't know, we never zoomed the game out. Eh?
I guess.
That's like another inside joke, because we totally used to. We had like big rooms before Isaac had them, and then we realized that they suck, so we removed them.
Yeah, because, well, I think it's then the game came out, and then we hated them in Isaac, so we didn't put them in.
Oh, Gargic does have to do with Guardian Legends, apparently, yeah. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah.
But yeah, like the very first build of the game, like before this like really long hiatus where we're just trying to learn about game making and stuff, it was just so primitive. Just a bunch of blocks on like the screen, and then you move in a room, it closes up, and there's like more blocks, and you can kind of shoot at them, and that's all. That's all there is. And then we just like waited many years until we had like more of an idea of how to code or draw. And then we returned to the game, and it actually started taking shape.
Yeah,
Like
good.
there were so many different things when the game was first drafted. Like first it was supposed to have like I don't know hundreds of floors or more. There was like some difficulty system where the more floors you traverse, the more difficult the enemy spawn was somehow getting, but they never really worked that out.
There was going to be a fixed mode, but I was also kind of wanted to have an infinite mode where it just like kept getting harder forever.
That will happen anyway.
Yeah, but it was gonna be like some weird systemic thing where there was a number that incremented, and like it would every room would just add enemies up to some difficulty threshold based on what floor you were on.
Yeah, and
so like every enemy in the game would be like have a number saying this is how hard this enemy is. And when you walk into your room, it would just add enemies until it hit the sum number of how hard the room was supposed to be.
Yeah, which was kind of more like Smash TV now that I think about it, which I actually also kind of wanted to emulate, so I might as well add it on the influence list.
I mean...
Yeah, and there was this horribly bloated, awful interface. Oh man. And the font. Yeah, it was terrible.
I mean,
I kind of want to go back and talk about some of the... this step talk's pretty interesting, but I just want to kind of clarify about the HUD elements.
Okay.
And I've also noticed that there's a dash as well.
Yes.
Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yeah, that's...
So if you guys... So there's like a bomb, there's a dash, and what about the HUD? Like, if you guys could just kind of go over that stuff quickly, that'd be great.
Do you want to run like, we'll say left to right?
Sure.
So in the top corner there, you'll see a symbol. It looks like a big fireball thing because he has the fireball weapon. So that's the symbol showing your current weapon.
Cool.
Underneath that is the 6 bars, which shows your reload time. So you'll see whenever it fires, it erases them all, and then they tick back up until it's reloaded.
Okay.
Next to that, you'll see a number, which is the current ammo. And inside that same colored block, there's a little black line underneath, which is actually showing the current amount of ammo compared to your max ammo. So as you use ammo, that'll slowly drain down until, and then the line will be gone when you run out of ammo. Right below that is your bombs. So those icons are the number of bombs you have.
Then we saw the bombs used. It like kind of rebounds the bullets back, right? That's what the bomb is. That the bomb is.
The bomb erases all the bullets. You can actually find special bombs with different effects. There are 5 power bombs. There's one that there's one that shoots a giant laser in the direction you're facing. There's one that freezes all enemies. There's one that does massive damage to all enemies. There's one that lasts longer, like it sticks around for a couple seconds and keeps eating all the bullets. And then there's one that releases a bunch of swarmers that harm non-enemies.
So do you see like a different type of bomb icon where the bomb is?
They're all color-coded.
Okay. Okay, cool.
You can have up to 6 bombs. If you are under 2 bombs, they regenerate at 1/3 of room up until 2 bombs. So if you don't have a bomb, every time you clear a room, you gain 1/3 of a bomb.
Bombs in this game are super cheap.
And that keeps going up to 2 bombs. There's an upgrade that increases that to 3 bombs, and one of the shrine deals lowers it to 1 bomb.
Okay.
Next up is the life counter.
Yes, and then in the middle of the screen is the life counter. The lower number is your current health, the higher number is your maximum health.
Okay.
You can see 2 little corner brackets next to it. Mm-hmm. Those will fill up with, every time you gain a health while you're already at full health, you'll gain 1 of those. And when you gain 4 of those, you gain a maximum health.
Cool. Like completing a like a heart container or something.
And that was inspired by Downwell, which is basically the same mechanic.
Huh. Cool.
And then next to that, you'll see the X followed by 1.5, which is the current multiplier. So that actually affects all your score gain. It goes down by 1 whole, like 1.0, whenever you take a hit. And it increases whenever you kill enemies, gradually up to 2.5x. And that makes all enemies drop more money based on that multiplier.
In this game, score and your currency are pretty much the same, except your score does not drop as you buy stuff.
Yes, and the number below that is your current money, which is also your current score spend. Minus
The
what
better you play, the more money you get.
Yes.
It sounds like.
Yes, so
Big
and you'll
money,
actually
big
see
prizes,
that
I love it.
when enemies die, they release a bunch of these blue objects, and that's actually the money, and you have to manually pick it up.
The debris.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
they are
The current-
auto-collected when you kill every enemy in a room.
Yes, when you clear a room, it auto collects all the debris that's currently flying through the air. And then next to that, you'll see the minimap, which shows the current room you're in, and then 2 rooms in all directions from you. And you.
So that number by the X2.5, that plus, is that like a chaining bar?
Yeah, that
type
just
of thing,
shows.
or-
Yeah, that just shows
yeah.
recently gained money.
Yeah.
It's not chaining.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's the money that's being added. Oh.
Yeah, it just ticks up, and it
Okay.
shows how much money you just got.
Okay. There's not like some like chaining system.
No,
going
there's
on
no
here.
there's no
Okay.
benefit for getting that particularly high. It's just like a little quality of life thing.
Okay, perfect. That helps a lot. Now that we know.
Yep. And that is all the HUD. You'll actually see right now underneath the health bar there's a little key symbol, and that shows that he's found a key for this floor, which can open actually that door right there, which is the vault, which is a room that may or may not appear on any floor. It's actually just a 50% chance at floor generation.
And the
Oh.
special thing about it is like the key, it can appear in one of a few predetermined places.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there will always be a key. It can appear either as a random drop at any room in the floor, and that room is pre-picked. It could be for sale in the shop. It can appear from the treasure room, and you have to take it instead of taking any of the weapons. And it sometimes is in the secret room.
Do you need the key?
You need the
To
key
advance?
to open the vault, which is
Not always.
very valuable treasures.
If it's
You never-
adjacent to a secret room, yeah, you can get into a vault without using the key, and it's it gives you money.
But you never need the key to progress to the next floor. It's purely for advantageous purposes.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
I have to
In this
explain.
particular run, he does need to hit his goal because he's trying to get all S ranks, which requires visiting every room, and the locked room does count. So if you want to get S rank, if you want to get S rank on rooms explored, you do need to find the key and actually
Yeah,
enter
and-
that room.
And if you don't
everything.
particularly, and if you don't particularly care about that, the keys can be salvaged on the next room, on the next floor, and they give a lot of money.
Yes. So
And
if you
that's
and
the
if you
secret.
yeah. So this is a secret room. Secret rooms can be found by bombing in adjacent rooms, which will explode the wall leading to the room. So this is the normal mode final boss,
Yes.
which is pretty difficult.
Yeah, and the last requirement for the just for the S rank is to get less than 13 hits, which is harder than it sounds really, because
10 hits
both
if you even leave
Overlord,
on floor 5.
and the device are they can be quite threatening.
Yes.
You see here quite fascinating patterns right here, which I try to dodge graciously. Yeah, by the way, I played this replay with a hitbox, so that green dot is the hitbox.
Yeah, on the over the player ship, yes.
But let me assure you, it doesn't make the game easier.
Yeah, we only added that very recently, actually, after a lot of requests.
Froggy are
Oh, yeah.
attack.
Like chances are, if you have feedback and you request something, it's probably going to make its way into the game.
Yeah,
At some
exactly.
point.
So
Especially
I have to
if
add.
500 other people suggest it, which is hitbox.
Yeah, the game has its own Discord server, and let's say it wasn't particularly visible. It's just in a Steam thread. Maybe we could include it in our video description, so the
that's
other
nice.
people could join in. All right. Yeah, it's a really nice place where you can place your bug report suggestions.
Also, warning: this stream does contain spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really now?
But hey, it's STG Weekly, kinda.
Spoilers comes with the genre, pretty much.
But
We
yeah,
might be
just,
we might be halfway through the final boss, but you can never be too careful.
yeah, but still, just there's more content to spoil, namely the whole of the hard mode.
Yeah.
And before that,
Kind of. We'll get to that. To spoiling that.
Oh Oh yes,
All right.
there will be much spoiling.
And we see finally, I skipped the ending, by the way, in this particular run, so yeah, it wouldn't be visible.
what a
and the
horrible
rank
crime.
screen.
I mean,
The rank
but we're gonna see this though.
For like 1 second.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is what we wanted, isn't it?
Kind of.
The power eternal. Completionism fuels our
It's-
blood.
It's fun. It's fun seeing people try and figure out what's actually going on in the story.
Yeah, it's
We
pretty
never
cool.
do.
Oh, by the way, well, story like lore kind of thing. Were you inspired by kind of Stalker Monolith? Like, yeah, in Stalker series, like the books, the games, there's a powerful kind of
No.
anomaly.
No, I
Called-
don't.
No.
I don't think. I don't think either of us have actually played any of those.
But
You
still,
did?
like, it's a
I said
coincidence.
I don't think either of us have actually played any of
Oh,
those.
no,
It's
I
a funny-
haven't, but
yeah. It's a funny coincidence that, well, spoilers for Stalker plot, minor ones.
Oh
So,
no! Even more spoilers.
I'm
Oh, no.
sorry. Everything at once. But yeah, just there's a powerful anomaly called the Monolith in there. And so one of the game's endings involves you as the Stalker gets into the Monolith, which grants you one wish. And all of them screw you in some way. Which is
Ah.
kind of funny.
Oh, so it's
yeah,
Twisted Metal.
yeah, the name Monolith is actually incredibly common, as we've found out eventually.
Yeah, but-
biggest mistake
yeah.
in Monolith, naming the game Monolith.
I was like,
Because
yeah,
it's
Monolith
not-
Entertainment comes to mind for me.
Do not repeat our folly.
You don't
Yeah,
believe
it's-
how many times I told Alex to add a subtitle to it.
We did
finally
eventually.
did. Not particularly well.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, I saw the subtitle. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to put that in or not.
But
I mean,
yeah,
at the current point, if you Google Monolith and you just Google Monolith, it's like near the top on Google.
yeah, like the corporation.
No,
Good
no.
enough,
If
good
I
enough.
if I Google Monolith, it's the first result. It's the Steam page. for Monolith.
Yeah, Google just does that.
You've been searching it too much, so it's on the top.
And apparently, there's also a movie, a like really bad movie that came from Monolith too.
The question from the chat here: if you could rename the game, what would you name now?
I have no idea, to be honest. The name is just so ingrained in like my consciousness.
Yeah,
I really do
same.
not have any other name. Plus, the name is actually kind of personal. Like it's one of the biggest in jokes in the game.
Yeah. Which
Like-
we could talk about if you wanted.
All right.
Yeah, it's
So,
like
I think the subtitle route would be the way to go. I wish we'd added like a second part to the name, because Monolith does really get at a lot of important stuff. The name Monolith is pretty important
All right.
for reasons we will see when we play hard mode. Cough, cough.
Yeah.
You'd
And
think
s-
that the final boss in the normal mode would be called Monolith because it looks like a giant slab.
yeah,
And
that's
it's
intended.
pranked.
A lot of people call a lot of things Monolith before they find out.
Yeah, and
Everything is a
actually,
monolith. Like
Because a
Monolith,
lot of people call that
Monolith,
giant structure
monolith.
on the surface.
Yeah, it's
that you
like
see in the
people
intro
have
Monolith
the-
as well.
yeah, people have so their own fan nicknames to things. Like Monolith is the facility itself in which the game takes place has been called it. The final boss has been
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah, a lot of people call the entire game
And a lot of people call the mini bosses Nimbi, as a Nimbus singular.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's your fault.
It is my fault entirely. I accept the blame.
Let
The
me
mini
explain
bosses,
here.
yeah,
So yeah, just each mini boss, it has this kind of nimbus around them, and so yeah, when you defeat them, it says the nimbus has been broken, and when you pick up the runic weapon, which has these runes, that the powerful font that's been referenced throughout the story, so it's the ancient power. And so it even just the seal opening effect plays. Yeah, it's kind of awesome when you pick it up. Too bad it got nerfed and like something. Oh,
All right, let's move on to the next video.
Yeah, so what are we watching
all
next?
right,
Watching
yeah.
the speedrun?
I believe
Yes.
this is eebrozgi speedrun.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is
The
this on
developer
normal
interview.
mode?
yes. So it's 6 floors run. So Ebro, here's our expert guest for the episode.
Yo.
Knows really a
He
lot of-
definitely is.
Yeah, who knows
Well,
a lot
I think
about the
Ibra,
game.
I think expert.
All right. And so, yeah,
Thank you.
we're not about the hard mode yet, but yeah, this is still the normal mode. But yeah, it's kind of a super play, and yeah, it's a world record. Quite
So
a
if
fancy
you're
time.
scared of spoilers,
now.
you still have time to run away.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah,
Cool.
countdown,
All
please.
right. Yeah, I'll count us down. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, Ebro, let's get reintroduced. Yeah, the first thing is that you buy the care package. What is the care package?
Yeah, it gives you this hermit that I just talked instantly to, and the hermit gives you a bunch of max health, a bunch of max ammo,
And damage upgrades.
and a bunch of damage boosts.
I think 2 max health, 40% ammo, 15% damage. I think.
How are you able to get that?
And 2 HP.
Yeah. So there's whenever you finish a run, you get added to your out of your meta run currency based on your final score for the run. Which there's a shop you can use to upgrade to gain all the unlockables. You buy them from the NPC in the hub. And we added as a little extra thing. There's a pretty expensive upgrade you can buy, where on the next run that NPC is waiting for you in the starting room with a bunch of free items. So it's sort of a fallback thing where you can make the game easier by spending a bunch of money.
Microtransactions.
Well, it's not real money, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I was really happy you added that because I had a month's worth of money to spend on that. I ran out
Which is
A lot of fun
exactly
with it.
why it's there.
Yeah, thank you about that.
Honestly,
I want either a money bin or something like that.
yeah, it's like if you have more
my
time.
God, this run is so stacked.
Yeah. A lot of
Right.
a lot of for this
30%
one
damage?
goes for. Yeah. I mean, a lot of credit of this run goes to the fact that I got an artifact weapon early, which means this is a weapon that has 4 keywords, and it usually means it's very powerful. And
Yeah,
another nice thing about this run is that I made a deal with the devil to give me 400% ammo on this weapon to lose half of my max ammo.
Yes.
All right, so time to explain about the weapon system, because that's where the keywords come into play. In previous
Yeah.
run, I had a really powerful weapon, and let's say keywords play a major role in it. While there are damage increase upgrades and ammo increase upgrades, which you can buy in the shop, the keywords are determined by the weapon itself. And so some of them have their unique ones, and there are certain weapon archetypes like laser, pulsar, thunderhead, razor, and you see them everywhere. And so the keyword is what makes it unique. So it's kind of like Borderlands. It makes every weapon unique to some degree. And artifact weapons are the only ones in the game that are able to have 4 properties, I believe. Yeah.
That is not true.
Yeah.
There is actually
Oh.
there is a very tiny % chance that most weapons by default have 2 keywords. When you open a weapon crate, you would only get 2 weapons and 2 keywords. Sometimes there will be a 3rd weapon. Sometimes there will be only 1 weapon with 3 keywords, and even more rarely there will be 2 weapons with 3 keywords. Shops occasionally sell a 3 keyword weapon at 150% the cost of a normal weapon, and even more rarely than that, a shop will contain a 4 keyword weapon at double the price of a normal weapon.
They are extremely rare because I haven't found one yet. See, just for all of the time.
Maybe I should check that out. Maybe it's bugged.
It
Yeah,
could be.
I don't believe
have
I've seen
reported that they found the 4 weapon keywords only. Yeah.
But yes,
That also might be that I look at the price of the weapon and go no, fuck this, I'm not taking this.
But yes, you should.
Before
There
I
are
even-
very, very rarely 4 keyword weapons in shops, assuming it's working.
Yeah.
I should check that out.
Please do.
Huh. All righty, bro. So,
But
yeah,
I
wanna
think
ask you-
it's something absurd like 1% chance.
Yeah, I want to ask you just what kind of keywords you are in particular looking forward to when you are speedrunning. So, yeah, there are like in every roguelite game, you kind of set your own goal and then you build your strategy on top of it. So you pick your weapons according to your playstyle, just what kind of goal you want to achieve, just your buys and everything. So yeah, eBro, what kind of choices you put into your speedrun?
Mostly the ability to do like mass destruction. Homing is really bad because it lowers the damage of the weapon. It guarantees you more hits, but it's like very low potential damage. Piercing is good because you can like clear the room potentially in a very few shots if you line yourself right. And anything that just adds more bullets is very good.
I swear we removed the damage penalty from homing from most weapons. Let me check that.
That's basically, I mean, I'm pretty much done.
Oh.
Then it just kind of depends about the weapon. Like, phasing is pretty fun on most weapons, but with railgun and with lasers, phasing is super good. And like, actually, homing railgun is an exception to the homing rule because that can just, well, mostly the fact that it can clear entire rooms in one shot without even thinking about it. Just mostly that.
Okay, I just checked. Homing does not have a damage anymore. Eat your stew.
This boss, he pro attack, he also attack, but most importantly, his armor attack.
Somebody called it like a tactical armor core. I'm okay with that.
Oh, so you did not have the abbreviation?
No, it's again, it's a ninja boss. It had like a stupid name origin.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't the original one called Ceiling Tack? And you just named it Tack because that's cat backwards. It was just a ceiling cat joke.
Yep.
Huh. I think that's exactly what Kirby Superstar does.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Bro, let's talk about the upgrades. Which ones you wanna take for the runs generally?
Reserves.
Well, for speed runs, yeah, reserve is good because it just damage up, and if you lose your weapon, it makes your default weapon very powerful, like compared to the pea shooter you normally have. And the one I mostly want in speed runs is scope that reveals part of the floor in beforehand.
Cannon.
Like very handy, showing the key rooms you need to travel in and giving you the general idea of the map in advance.
Yeah. The speedrun means that you don't have to do all the rooms, so eBro uses exactly that in order to skip past the rooms he doesn't need. He only needs to navigate to the mid-bosses, neutralize them because the boss key is locked before you defeat the mid-bosses, and then jump into the boss because your ship can warp instantly into any room that you have cleared, which is really convenient feature. Mm-hmm. And that's the run pretty much.
Yeah. The warp is from beating mid-bosses? That's what the warp is?
No,
is that what
you
said?
can just, after you've defeated a room, you can warp into it.
At any time.
Yeah, the mini bosses are important because you have to kill all the mini bosses to fight the bomb.
Right, got it.
Yeah, but you cannot warp during the battle, of course.
New boss!
Yeah. The ordinator, he ordinates.
Performs the act of ordinating.
Ordinary magician.
That guy just can't chill.
I really like what eBro is doing there. He's like doing the bravery thing, getting close to the boss. It's like the best way to maximize the damage with triple laser.
Or triple anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, during this run, I was not like completely sure if that does more damage. Like
it does.
Yeah, and I found that out during the final boss. I confirmed that there.
Final boss. Look, it should be one. It should be one word. Final boss.
I see what you did there.
The final boss.
Final boss. Yeah. eebrozgi's game so good. All right.
So this enemy is great because no one knows what it does.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone just kills it first.
Yeah.
The main advantage of just playing what separates the great players from the good ones is the ability to read the game in an instant. So you see the room and you're like, hey, I immediately know where to position myself, where just enemies just coming to me, and that's pretty much the main skill you have to have as a player. It only comes with practice. Can't really read up on that.
Yeah.
Man, he's getting through the game pretty fast. Is this a speedrun or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you got
is
that
there
right.
is there a time tracker at the end of the game?
Yes.
for
You
this,
can
or-
actually,
Oh yeah.
You can actually at any time on the map check your current time for the run when you
Yeah.
press tab. But it also does
Ah.
show your total time on the final screen.
Yeah.
Is there like a speedrun achievement as well?
Well, again,
Yeah.
one of the things you get ranked on the score screen, like one of the S ranks, is for time.
And it's actually,
okay.
and the achievement is actually called speedrun, although it's not really speedrunning. The speedrun time is actually really lenient.
Yeah. So there is an achievement for getting S rank on time, which is
30 minutes.
20 minutes if you do it on floor 5, and 30 minutes if you do floor 6. Which is probably a little too generous, but
Kind of.
there you go.
So you're supposed to be going fast regardless here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that is
best
one of-
way. Yeah, the best way to play the game is actually with a bloodlust sword, because it kind of forces you to get really, really fast, really, really quick.
Yeah,
mean, there is-
Bloodlust is kind of the chain-in modifier, so you kill enemies fast and you get more damage.
Oh yeah, and it,
Yeah, it's
totally
ridiculously
should
fast.
also like give more damage if you wipe out bullets. We'll get on top of that.
But that's not blood. Bullets aren't blood.
It counts.
It's not bullet lust.
It counts.
Yes,
You mean it does already count in
Bullet
game,
lust.
does it?
See, eebro is playing really aggressively because just staying on top of the boss and like he has so much HP to spare and just make sure to just
Land all those
put that
extra
tri-
linkers.
Yeah.
triple, try beat.
The trick to it is that health doesn't actually matter at all unless you die.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one of my speed runs, I went on top of the second boss skeleton called Diamond. I like tried like, can I stay up here with my sword, and I could do it. Like
That's-
I initially didn't even care about the damage, but it didn't do any damage, so it was just convenient.
That's just such a cheeky tactic, in my opinion. I did not foresee that.
Oh yeah, by the way, Ebro, you've told me that this run was supposed to be 5 floors because you can escape the dungeon after hitting the floor 5.
Yeah, if you go through any of the exits except the top one after this fight, the game does end.
No.
on the spot.
Yeah, I think this run was supposed to be 6 floors from the start. It was
Oh, alright.
a 6-floor run that I sacrificed for a floor 5 record.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, the goals kind of change as you see your just kind of success RNG. So like the weapons, you might think that the weapons that we've got in our respective runs are like super broken. Thing is,
You see them every
It's-
run anyway.
yeah, it's just like the RNG. You still have to have skill to get use of whatever cards you've been dealt with. It's kind of like playing bridge. So yeah, in a certain runs, yeah, I've also got close to that as a success, and I didn't have such a strong weapon. So, but I did not have like different advantages like the demon deals and such to make
I
up
mean,
for
you,
that.
you can beat the entire game without a single item.
Oh yeah, that was actually kind of one of the things that I really wanted to push, is the idea that you should master every weapon that you come across.
Yeah, there's actually a lot. It didn't work out because we kept making things too good. But you're supposed to just switch weapons constantly. That's why switching weapons like gives you health and money, because you're supposed to be encouraged to change around a lot.
Yeah,
Which
I think
also-
that actually worked in the game's favor because it's a similar system to like Downwell where you can
Yeah, very
Change weapons
very
without-
inspired by Downwell.
yeah in Downwell you can like if you switch a weapon you also get either like power up or health up, but you will have to face the consequences of having that new unfamiliar weapon. But in this game the weapons are so much more different that you actually think about it if you should salvage it or not. Like, is it worth it to take money and health? And I notice I'm thinking more about it than in like Downwell, where I just automatically switch the weapon.
Nice.
Anyways, this run seems like it's going okay. This is a boss that's like pretty vulnerable to triple.
Yeah, and this is the one that taught me that yes, it works in my favor.
It's also pretty vulnerable to like that one specific razor.
Oh, you just like giant laser,
Yeah.
just like stand in the middle and wreck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes like about 4 seconds per
Oh,
phase.
that seems pretty good. This attack is so hard.
This attack,
Yeah.
like
The
you
giant
seriously,
spinning- the giant spinning
no
laser.
Arashi. If you play
Everyone
that,
finds it difficult, but it's not really. You just have to like kind of kite around it.
really, well, I actually find it one of the easier ones. I have yet to
Yeah,
get
totally.
because it's actually a rather classic shmup pattern. And here goes the Crimson Clover laser, one of the more obvious references. But yeah, it looks so cool. Just borrow in the best out of the world of shmups. Yeah, that's what the game is. The collection.
That's sort of the great thing about having come from Fraxi is Fraxi was such a melting pot of like shmup designs. So
Yeah.
we've seen so many of them.
And like probably the biggest influence on the game, like shmup wise for myself, was and we haven't really touched upon it yet, Helsinker.
Yes. That's
Oh,
right.
man.
So
Sadly,
one-
couldn't
one
make
down,
it into
4 to
this
go, Alex.
episode. All right, and yeah, Ebro, one last question as the speedrun is coming to the end. Well, to this run, regardless. Like, what could you recommend, like, as an expert to a newbie who's only just starting out of the game and would benefit from just something that you wish you would have known in the past, something like this?
Well, it's kind of a hard question for me because I'm been alongside the game as it's developed, but one thing I noticed in the Discord chat for Monolith is that somebody started using more bombs when they see me play. Like, this game gives you a lot of resources.
It
Do not
is
hoard
so,
them, just like use
hard
them.
to forget to use. It is so easy to forget to use bombs.
Yeah, like when you start playing sudden death, you will use those bombs because they are your only safety net. You will just see a danger and use like 2 bombs instantly and scream because
We still
Sudden
need
death
to
is
have
scary.
Holy Mantle.
yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll get about the lethality later, and that's going to be the focus of our third run.
Yes.
The self-imposed challenges, and I'm glad that the developers, they are kind of like accepting them, because the base game is not very difficult, and it's good because it's very accessible.
Ouch.
Well, like really.
It depends.
Yeah, there's like a few things that we have still planned for the future, like a level editor, because we pretty much have one already and we've promised one. And beyond that, probably a difficulty which is even harder for the people who like this sort of thing, the crazy people, you know?
Yep.
People complain that the hard mode isn't hard enough.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean,
I mean, you're never
I
gonna be.
think it was
You're never gonna
ultimately
be
a
hard
good
enough.
decision.
You're never gonna be hard enough for the people beating the cave thing.
Damn it, it's gotta be harder.
Hardman.
Knows that Sousa's here.
Okay, so yeah, just about the bombs, just a brief note. Like, the bombs in this game, just to remind you, they are not like your typical like cave-style bombs, because you don't really lose them when you get hit. But still, they regenerate extremely fast as you, well, kind of clear rooms. So definitely, Ebro
Yeah.
takes
And
just makes a good point here.
It's completely free to use them as well. There's no penalty for using a bomb.
Exactly. So that's why exactly each one of us, like this runs, they bomb immediately when they enter a floor. It's a common strategy to see whether there's a secret nearby, and it's actually pretty high chance of their spawning just nearly just towards you.
Yeah.
So yeah, bomb those bombs out.
Yeah,
All
bomb,
right.
bomb,
All right. So there will be spoilers in this run.
Yeah, hard mode.
Oh,
The hardest of the hards.
You get to see you get to see the ultimate final boss, which is
And the ultimate
Pure
ship.
spoilers.
spoilers. It's really good.
Yeah, we are getting excited because yeah, this final boss is the final boss.
It was one where I was always really scared of people not understanding what was going on, because there is a more or less hard and fast story, but we don't use a lot of text.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of hand-holding people too much about it. It's
But-
like it's very easy to just make a story kind of inconsequential if you explain everything.
Yeah, just the story is, well, it's better in my opinion that the players should figure it out on their own, like, and the gameplay itself, it kind of points you towards the atmosphere and such. And yeah, good job the developers. That
So there's a lot more hints of what's going on if you like read between the lines, read all the stuff we give you. Especially if you like read through the bestiary and read all the comments from the cat.
Yeah, by the way, just a small note that people don't usually like remember is that whenever you die, you can ask the cat on advice and he will tell you about that specific enemy.
Yep. And as you get
All
towards
right.
the end of the game, he tends to be a little less helpful.
The best.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let's get into the video then.
The countdown.
Who's the player of this video then?
Ika, one of the better players, and he holds the score run record for the game, by the way.
Oh, does he?
I think. Just I haven't seen a number higher than his, like 230k. Like he says that 300k is theoretically possible, but still,
Okay.
yeah. Here we focus on hard mode and the kind of like a self-imposed challenge, which is unlocked. Yeah, the lethality modes, and yeah, let's get the countdown.
Yeah,
Okay. Sure. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
And first thing to note is the first stage team. It's different.
Dun,
Spoilers.
dun.
I'm so
It's
glad
really
you
cool.
put this in the game.
Oh yeah, it's a thing that probably only really Ebro can fully appreciate. Maybe Garo, Arc of Dream.
I just lost my shit when I heard this in game. It's kind of a not
Yeah,
in joke, but in thing.
Yeah, it's like there's a video of Ebro and he just spazzes out the ship, like turns in all directions for like a minute.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the hard mode. Can you please explain just what are the main differences between normal mode and hard mode?
Okay, so for hard mode, there's a couple things going on. The main thing, the pretty subtle thing is that we gave every single enemy in the entire game new behaviors that are specifically like every enemy just has like more bullets, different patterns, especially the bosses. But like every enemy, like you'll see these diamond-shaped guys actually have an additional bullet on all of their shots. This guy doesn't normally have the smaller bullets when he fires.
And
And
he also
this ca-
spawns more jellies.
Yep. And like the ghosts shoot revenge bullets and they die. A lot of just like minor changes to every enemy, like increase the density of all the projectiles, make everything hard.
And the Halos.
And this is the other change, where there's a chance in every room that an enemy will spawn with one of those halos on it.
It's like
That,
elite enemies in Risk of Rain.
Yeah. And the way that the halo is actually an independent entity, and if you kill the enemy with the halo on it will actually jump to another enemy and keep functioning attached to that new enemy. So it's going. So if it's in a room, it's going to last the entire.
All
You'll
right.
see, like this enemy is shooting way more bullets than it was before.
All right. So yeah, the next thing to cover about is the lethality, and it's kind of like a modifier that you select before the game, and it cuts your HP. So there are two different modes, like intense, which is 5 HP max, and you cannot raise your value past that.
Yeah.
And sudden death, which is 1 HP, and you don't even get to use auto bomb in this mode. Like auto bomb is just is an upgrade pickup, but it's disabled because the developers are evil.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, you're supposed to die in one hit, not die in one hit minus however many bombs you have.
Exactly.
Did you change that in the first major patch?
Probably.
Yeah, it was a good change. It's an evil but good change. I'll tell you
Also,
that much.
yeah, you
There-
get
there was
less ammo.
There was a pretty funny bug that took hard out to fix where actually shops were crashing as some of the later ships on sudden death mode. because there weren't enough items to put in the shop. Because it couldn't put health and it couldn't put weapons. So it like put 2 things
So
right
that's
out and
weird.
crashed because the list was empty. And we eventually made it just keep putting bombs until the shop was full. Ended up being the solution.
That works, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's kind of all there is to put it. Just like keep putting bombs. It's like once you're on like hard mode as the ships that don't get to buy weapons, it's like there's basically just because you can't even have ammo. It doesn't sell ammo, so it's
Yeah.
basically just selling bombs. That's all.
Yeah,
you can sell.
and one of the major differences which kind of balances it out is the fact that you don't you can see that you cannot raise your multiplier past 1, so you don't have that much money.
Because the normal way to decrease your multiplier is take damage, which you will be doing less of on a move where you don't have.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive to like give you extra modifier on a game in which you instantly die if you take damage.
You could make an argument for it on intense, but on sudden death, obviously your multiplier was just never going to go down. So it was kind of silly to have
Never
it.
gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around. to
Exactly.
search you.
Something like that.
Specifically, exactly like that.
Okay, yeah, nice. So yeah, just the thing that I wanted to note about the intense mode is that the damage of your weapon is increased exactly to compensate for the lower ammo.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's by 50% if I recall.
So, to be honest, it's kind of the other way around. The low ammo is there to compensate for the high damage.
Well, yeah, so it's not like kind of a self-imposed challenge. It's like a different thing entirely because it also gives you an advantage. Just something the
Yeah.
games don't really do.
Yep.
And
It's reminiscent of a few different things. It's always sort of a fun mode, the take the good with the bad.
yeah, that's nice
But,
trade-off. And
Yeah, but in general, it's still much harder than the normal mode because you could lose 5 HP easily to any boss.
God, it's such a funny room.
Like this one.
fun trivia. If you are killed by a boss, like there are some unique messages just for being defeated, like hacked by Daemon.
Oh yeah, that's like a big shout out to Tom 4, a roguelike, which Pure has been kind of working on. That's what gave me the idea.
And yeah, you also see some bosses have new forms. So Daemon's trying to get ahead in life. Ooh, I hope we see a certain boss this run.
Certain. Yeah,
Well, it's my
exactly.
favorite one.
This game has exactly 3 bosses per floor, except for floors 5 and 6.
Yes, which have 1 and 2 respectively.
Yeah. And so Ika actually does swap weapons a fair bit. So yeah, there's like charge and nice. By the way, nice CRT filter. Like
Oh, is that the CRT filter? I think that's just the scan lines.
maybe, but still, just
Yeah, we
you can
have
kind of customize your experience
for
with
that
one.
for that extra hipster level.
Yeah, we were kind of paranoid about people because like a lot of people are suggesting like a lot of changes in the Agidagi threads. And you didn't really know if they were legitimate or not, so you just ended up taking all of them.
Yeah, you'll see
Had
there's
this- yeah.
there's very in-depth options menu.
All right.
Kind of.
So, yeah, just this was fancy pause screen. Just these kind of little details that, yeah, the pause screen even changes, and yeah, even your main ship, on the hard mode is different. It's kind of tied to a plot, but I cannot talk about it because spoilers. So I'm just gonna say it looks like
I think we're late for spoilers.
We have ascended from the spoilers. We are in the top spoiler territory.
Are we like 10 minutes from just showing the true ending?
Of course.
a bit more, but yeah. By the way, yeah, this run cuts off before the ending.
Well, we're gonna see the final boss though.
Well,
Final
if you
boss.
want to see the ending, you're going to have to beat the game yourself.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely
before you
not
have to
it's
buy
definitely
it.
not on like 10 different YouTube videos.
Yeah, so like you have a little bit for yourself.
It's kind of like Zune, who doesn't really want just players to spoil the endings.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Yeah, you just can't find the endings to shorter games on YouTube.
Yeah, it's kind of like one request of Zune that the fanbase does honor. So that people would actually be just, inclined to clear the game on single credit.
Yeah, he just like requested, hey, you can do whatever you want, just don't upload the endings, and no one does.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it.
It's just one little trade-off for all the people who like downloaded his games for free. Which is a lot of people.
Spoilers.
Yep.
So, yeah, just the mid-bosses, they're kind of funky in that way that if you defeat them at max HP, they drop ammo, and if not, they drop you 1 HP.
Yo.
Yeah, it's kind of tied to the core philosophy of the game that you should never have something that's useless.
Oh yeah, just this game is pretty much recycling the game. Everything can be salvaged. Everything can be used in an alternate way.
I mean, yeah, like, why would it be another way? This is a very environmentally.
Oh yeah, like that's a good example.
How about
like,
the apocalypse?
All right.
So he's like debating on what weapon to use here. Like, what's the deal with
I would
like
take the charge.
weapon choice?
My favorite is the railgun because I'm playing with mouse, and so just I could benefit from the higher accuracy. So it's kind of like a shoot 'em up. Just there's been a common complaint like towards shmups that they're not so about like much shooting, about that they are more about dodging. And this game is exactly 50-50 for each. Proper aiming can save your ass here.
Yeah, I for one really prefer the charge, which a lot of people underestimate. I feel.
Like me.
A lot of people, yeah, people think that it's like deals lower DPS on average, but that's actually not true. I think. Yeah, it actually does more damage even if you just keep it shooting. But
It is inaccurate though, so.
Yeah. But the real strength of the weapon lies in the fact that you can just enter a room with a full charge and just instantly kill an enemy. And that makes some room layouts.
Were all of these runs attack runs? That's fine.
Oh,
I kind
What
of
a
feel
shame.
people underestimate the pulsar.
kind
Imagine
of.
if they had
Pulsar is
a
actually,
triple
like, really
shotgun,
strong.
wider spread.
But it
Pretty
can
much
be.
like
It
one
can
of
be.
the
I think
stronger
Pulsar's
games.
bad. Sorry.
It actually has like much higher DPS than most of them. But the problem is the range.
That's why I like Monolith so much. It's just like, it's fair game. It's really fair in that every option is viable in some way. It's not like there are bad items or items that really restrict you or something if they don't give you something in return.
No,
Yeah,
there's
Pulsar's not that bad. It's just less good.
kind of.
What weapons are busted right now? Oh, I'm like behind on the meta.
It's still fireball.
Is it?
Yeah.
God damn
I'm pretty
it!
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So
I know it was Thunderhead
this
for a
one.
while, but we fixed that. I think.
Yeah, we destroyed it.
Did we? I don't
Kind
know.
of.
I don't know how much.
I don't know. It still feels very good. I picked up bouncing and facing other head.
Yeah.
I mean Thunderhead the other day, and it still just destroyed enemies.
Yeah, the
I think I
biggest.
got a like 5-floor world record with the run with that
Yeah.
one. But
Okay,
like I lost it in a day.
Do I have to buff Thunderhead?
No,
Yes?
please don't. Oh god, no.
really, yeah.
Thunderhead is weird. It's so hard to control, but it's so destructive, which maybe balances it out. I don't know. Half of them.
there's-
What really? What
There's
really
gotta be
makes,
a world where it's safe, right?
Yeah, but like half of them spawn in the line, and that just makes it so much harder.
All right. Yeah. Let's.
One thing
continue a
that
bit on
balances
more on the
Thunderhead.
topic of the run.
Well, actually, Thunderhead in its first incarnation wasn't even supposed to just phase through enemies. You were supposed to like shoot it around enemies, and it would just take damage and disappear immediately if it hit one.
It didn't initially have piercing. You had to like aim it to avoid enemies because it would actually
that-
hit enemies.
And like imagine Thunderhead as it is now, but if it hits an enemy, it immediately disappears.
Yo.
So that's why it got like changed.
What weapon are we looking at right now? Is this the one?
This is Revolver.
Okay.
Thunderhead shoots like a huge projectile that arcs bolts of lightning at nearby enemies.
Arcs of Death.
Yep. I don't believe we've seen it in any of the videos today. I think we've seen it drop a couple times. I think especially like you've had it drop.
Oh man.
I think it had just pick it up just once, but briefly.
I really like some of them.
He really swaps the weapons a lot this time, so yeah, specifically this run is good for showcasing all the different weapons.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of weapons this run. Unlike the first year where they're just like, oh, I found a good weapon.
Scrubs.
Like the last few rooms were just really indicative of how good this specific revolver is, because it's got the swarming, I think, keyword.
Reactor.
Oh yeah, and like this room specifically because they had those pipe enemies. Every segment explodes into a swarmer, and that's just so good.
Yeah, the reactor boss is really cool, and yeah, on hard mode there will be spoilers.
That's Pierre's custom boss.
Yeah, I actually made very few of the bosses. Alex made most of them. I made Forgotten Ringleader.
Exaggerating.
I made Forgotten Ringleader, Armor Tech, and one of the special buff, and that was it.
And oh no, reactor core! What a surprise!
So this only happens on hard mode, and this gets people. I was very happy with this joke.
All right. Yeah, so just the reactor boss, it kind of reminds me like of EG, another game of Daniel Remar. It has a boss. Yeah,
actually, the reactor core and the reactor itself is another in-joke.
I do love EG, but it was actually reactor was very much based on some Fraxy stuff.
Yeah.
There was a joke where like the first 20 bosses I made were all reactors in Fraxy in like 2009.
Cool. Really, everyone loves reactors.
Yep. So it was like, well, I gotta make a reactor at some point in here, right?
And it just fits thematically so well.
Yeah, definitely a very cool boss. Does a lot of cool stuff.
And yeah, just there are various kinds of revolver. Yeah, just these rotating thingies with bullets coming out of them. So yeah, just there are even shotgun revolvers. Just how awesome is that? Like, shotgun is a keyword in this game. So that means pretty much every weapon in this can be a shotgun.
Not everyone.
But
I
yeah,
just realized I need a laser shotgun. Please give me that.
I'd love to see a sword shotgun.
We can try.
Triple laser, close enough.
I'd love to see a sword shotgun.
Sword shotgun.
God.
No, it's a shotgun that shoots swords.
We may actually implement it at some point.
Wink, wink.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the damage, yeah, he's going to incredible rates. Like he's past 200% damage, which means he deals exactly just
Wait, what?
as much damage.
Isn't he on intense?
Yes.
So he got like what? Oh my god, he got like 120 damage.
What? How much is he at?
I mean, 205 right now.
Oh, that means he's
enormous.
That means he's gained 55%. You start at 150 because it's 10.
Yeah, that's a lot actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he just reserves all of these power bombs. So yeah, the basic bombs don't really do damage, but they push enemies away. But the power bombs, they actually do aid you in killing enemies.
Not all of them actually. The fire bombs, the laser bombs, if you aim them correctly, and the deep freeze bombs do that. But I believe the time bombs actually just they have a longer duration.
Yeah, and the swarm bomb also. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that.
right.
Shotgun time. Truly the Borderlands experience, kinda. Like, this game reminds me of so much. It's like, and it's like, it gives like such a deja vu feeling like it's more than to one person occurred that it's like they've played this game like 5 years ago, but they didn't remember it. It's kind of like that feeling.
Hey, it makes up for a unique experience, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, paradoxically.
And he grabs even more damage.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, the,
how
trick,
high-
the trick to making an original game is ripping off enough different things.
I agree.
Yeah, like the list of influences in itself, it's like Binding of Isaac, Downwell, Helsinki, Fraxi, Herocore, La Mulana, mostly for the bosses actually, and because of the initial art style after we moved on from the pixels, Gaxed. Then one of my favorite games, Radiant Silvergun, then a bit of Reflex, Crimson Clover, then a little shooter called Minshotter Airs Delta, then probably a little bit surprisingly Kirby's Drumland 3, and maybe Crystal
Oh, yeah,
Shards.
I
I just
noticed
really love that game and the atmosphere that it was supposed to play. And the very last game on the list, maybe a little bit surprisingly because it's not even out yet, is Final Boss. It actually had a lot of influence
Final
on the game
Boss.
as well. Oh yeah, I might as well say that if Final Boss didn't exist, the game might not have even started, because I remember vividly the first time that me and Pure met and we're just like, hey, we want to make a game, was because like we were really impressed by Final Boss itself.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
then-
thank you.
Yeah.
Final
and
Boss
that's-
coming 2037.
Oh yeah, maybe,
Something like that.
hopefully. And then on
that's optimistic.
the end of 2015, there was the STG Weekly episode of Final Boss, and I don't remember who exactly was asked, but they said that like one of the best things between like two devs when you make a game is to understand the work of one another, and that's actually what got me to learn programming in 2015.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yep. And then he made.
So,
the rest of the
Aquas, you
game
done
himself.
some good work here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
All right. Yeah. So
And
just
here we
the big
here we
bullets.
go.
About the big bullets, so these huge bubbles, they compared to like stuff like which uses bubbles as a huge scary bullet that's actually less threatening. In this game, it's more threatening. It does 2 HP worth of damage.
That's the glowing red and black bullets are the double damage bullet.
Hmm.
Less so to do with the size.
like the size is only it's
they're-
the only thing that the size does is if you have a sword.
Yep, they're pretty rare. They're exclusive to 2 enemies on normal mode. They get a lot more common on hard mode, especially towards the end, where like most of the floor 6 exclusive enemies use some of the double damage bullets on hard mode. Like you'll see this releases those bullets that have the big damage. This is one of the enemies that has them on normal mode.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, can you tell us more about the hitboxes now that we are into the advanced stuff? How are the hitboxes in this game?
Oh well,
Pretty bullet hell. Tiny hitboxes and everything.
it's like the player itself has a 2x2 pixel hitbox, and the bullets they have like this.
Yeah, mostly slightly smaller than the bullet sprite.
Yeah, it's like the aura of the bullet is itself harmless.
Yep.
Like if you see here, like those red bullets, they have like this white glowing aura. The aura itself does not have any damage, so it has like this kind of lenience, so you can have this really precise dodges.
Yeah, I demonstrated the hitbox in the first run. Yeah. By the way, what did influence your designs for the game and like, just the art style kind of?
Oh well, honestly, the biggest influence on the art style has probably been Pixel of the Cave Story fame, because I really like his style of drawing. It's like to use the fewest colors and still arrange them in something that's kind of abstract but really looks like something in like motion. To be honest, I don't think I really did a very good job of this. I kind of have this obsession with shading everything. But in spirit, I really wanted everything to look kind of like abstract, but also kind of cute too. I still think that the game could probably be classified as a cute 'em up.
Yeah.
This game is so cute. Like, you can put hats. It's not the same hats that killed Team Fortress 2. It's better hats. You don't even have to pay for them. You kill for them.
That's even better.
What would you do for a hat? Would you kill a ghost?
Oh man, I'd kill for a
It's
hat.
already dead.
Yeah.
You would
Hat mode.
steal a hat.
We need the playable climber mode before we team up.
Yeah. Cat is the badass, really. Like, all of the shopkeepers are to not mess with, really. And his favorite weapon is the revolver.
Oh yeah.
And
wonder
here's
why.
the final boss. Final boss.
It's probably nothing important.
It's nothing. You lose.
Good day, sir.
Whoa.
Whoosh.
Does that ship look familiar to you?
Yes,
No,
of
it's really-
course. It looks kind of like Evacueer Doom from Ketsui, except the patterns are different. Also Crimson Clover, again. Still, it's kind of a thing of its own, really.
Well, I was
Yeah,
more
it's-
talking about the small one before that.
Alright, yeah. The boss picks up the sword and just flings it around.
That's the true shotgun sword.
Yeah.
How many attacks does
Oh,
this boss
totally.
have, Alex?
What?
How many attacks does this boss have, Alex?
Oh, well, thinking about it, about 20, I think.
That's
Like,
huge.
in
It's
general.
just, yeah,
It
you
could be
have to
bigger.
play the game multiple times in order to fully just uncover the beauty of this boss. And here it goes, Radiant Silver Gun, just, yeah, ascending.
Oh
deep-
yeah, I
Right.
love that you just brought
Right.
that comparison. This the final phase is definitely based on Siga. It's just such a beautiful
Yes.
fight.
And the music, just,
Yeah,
and the tension. He gets hit, and 1 HP. Is he gonna make it? Well, of
He's on
course
2
he has,
HP
because it's an STG Weekly run, so spoilers.
Oh, now he's on 1 HP.
I do believe that the true final boss was also kind of inspired by. I mean, the music is also inspired by Mushi-sama.
Oh yeah, like Spirit Lust or whatever. That was a very
Yes.
incongruously calm song for that fight.
I
Mhm.
can see the similarity there.
And here go the runs.
All right.
So definitely, we're not showcasing just all of the attacks of the final boss. So yeah, if you're interested, yeah, if
that would take forever, and no
Yeah.
one can survive.
And one thing that hasn't actually been shown in any of the runs is the tutorial boss fight, which is very, very related to this fight.
What?
Yes. Unfortunately, you don't get to fight that boss a lot.
Yeah, for now.
All right. Well, this is a very, very fun time. I need to go pretty soon. So it'd be great if we could
we're
wrap up.
closing.
Yes.
Yeah, we can wrap it up here. Yeah, good stuff. Great game.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you very much. There's more coming. All
That is always great to hear.
right.
Yeah, sounds like you guys are keeping it, listening to the fans and keeping it up to date and fresh to go and all that.
Oh yeah, they're just
Sounds like there's gonna be some big changes, maybe.
What guys you're looking
We,
to?
change. Yeah, it's like there have always been things that we really wanted to add to the game, definitely, like regardless of other people say, and then there are things that we add because people want them. So like the first update was kind of a mix between the two. A lot of the changes were just because people like them, like toggling the upgrades. And then the upgrades that we have planned for the future, they have always been planned that way, but there also are new ideas and things that people want.
So they're looking
So
to
more-
shake things
yeah,
up a little.
What can we expect from you? Yeah, that's the final questions. Yeah,
More
in the
music.
next update.
More
music.
content.
Yeah.
More music.
yeah,
And more
just wanna make-
content.
Just want to make
Yeah.
more
Armor
stuff.
tech. Please stick some
playing.
Yeah, like ways to make the gameplay more varied, alternative routes,
Yeah.
maybe new floors and new bosses, more enemies.
Maybe. We'll see.
Who knows? Maybe there's more to the story.
Maybe.
Huh?
All right, thank you all so much for coming. It's been a great ride, and so Yeah, you're welcome when we're gonna invite you for the Fraxi episode.
Oh,
So
please do.
watch out for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Apparently.
Yeah, thank you.
Apparently that's something I need to figure out about.
All right.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone.
It's a great time.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thanks
take care.
Hopefully
Thanks
talk,
to eBroz
hopefully
as
talk to you
well.
again.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that'll wrap it up then for STG Weekly episode 129. Thanks everyone for coming by, and just check out Monolith. It's available on Steam right now.
Please do. Have a great week,
Later,
everyone.
everyone. Whoosh.